everyone. Today we are going to discuss paper 4 of May-June 2024, and this will be the variant 4.2. Okay, let's discuss the first question. The first question is that a cyclist of mass 72 kg travels on horizontal road. Her speed goes from 8 meters per second to 16 meters per second. So she travels a distance of 100 meters against the resistance of 28 newtons. Total work done. Find the total work done. So we have to find out the total work done. So we know that work done of the cyclist plus initial kinetic energy. Initial kinetic energy will be equals to final kinetic energy plus work done against resistance. So let's put the values. So cyclist, so this will be half mv square. Now half m was 72. So we can see that m is 72 into half v square. V is, here we can see that v is 8 square is equals to half m is again 72. And now the final velocity is 16 square plus 28 multiplied by 100, because work done against resistance 28 and the distance is 100 meters. So that is why we know that W is equals to Ft. So here against resistance, the resistance is 28, so this will be the same. Now work done, this will be equals to 36. Let me simplify it over here, that this will be plus 36 into 64 is equals to, this will be 36. So let's use the calculator here, that 16 square multiply by 36 plus 28 into 100. So it will give us 12010. So 12010. So work done by the cyclist will be 12010 minus 36 into 64. So the final answer will be, if we subtracted 36 multiplied by 64. So this will be 9712. So 9712 joules will be the final answer. I hope that the concept is clear, and if you still have any question, you can ask it in the comment section. Let's move to the next one. Question number 2. Particle t second after passing from point O has an equation this. Find the set of values for which the acceleration is positive. This one is an important point. Now we know that we have the equation of velocity. The first way is we can use the graph, but the easiest way, whenever we have, I have discussed this thing previously, that when we have velocity time graph, then we can use gradient and area concept, and when we have distance time graph, then we can use the concept of gradient. But here we have equations, so when we have equations, then we have to use differentiation and integration. So acceleration will be equals to acceleration will be equals to dv by dt. So if we differentiate it with respect to time, we will get 44 minus 6 into 2 into t power 2 minus 1. So here we will have the equation of acceleration. So acceleration will be 44 minus 12t, and here they said that acceleration is positive, which means acceleration is greater than 0, which implies that 44 minus 12t should be greater than 0, and which means that 44 is greater than, or we can say that negative 12t is greater than negative 44, and if we divide negative number on both sides, then we have to change the inequality, and this will be 44 by 12 now, and which means that t will be less than 40, t will be less than 11 by 3. 11 by 3, yes, if we simplify it with 4. Now it means what? And they say that t should be positive, velocity acceleration will be positive, so we must have the final value will be between 0 and 11 by 3. This should be the final answer. I hope that the concept is clear. If you have any question, you can ask it in the comment section. Let's move to the next part. I think the second part is missing in this paper, so let me write it by myself, that the next question will be, the second part will be what? It will be that when distance is 0, when distance, the summary of this question is, when distance, at which time the distance is 0, find the time. Let me oversimplify it, that find the time t where displacement will be equal to 0, where displacement will be equals to 0, other than the initial condition, of course. Now how we can find it out? So we know the acceleration of velocity, and we know that if we integrate it, it will give us displacement. If we integrate velocity, the equation of velocity, it will give us displacement. So here we can see that f will be equals to, if we integrate the equation of velocity with respect to time, it will give us displacement. So displacement will be equals to, we know that v is equals to 44t minus 1 by minus 6t square minus 36. Let me confirm it from the first one. Yes, it is the same. Okay, now if we integrate it, this will be 44t square by 2 minus 6 into its differentiation, we have to integrate 6t cube by 3 minus 36t and plus c. Now what we have to do is, we know that if we simplify it further, it will be s is equals to 22t cube minus 2t square okay, this will be square. Let me correct it, that this will be square and this power will be cube minus 36t plus c. Now we know that there is a condition that at initial point distance is 0, displacement is 0 and time is 0, which means that if we put it in this equation, so this will be 22 0 square minus 2 into 0 cube minus 36 into 0 plus c, which means that c will be equals to 0. So the final equation for the displacement will be, so this will be 22 minus 2t cube plus 22t square minus 36t, and if we take t as common, so this will be, if we take t as common, so this will be, let me take minus t as common, so this will be minus t into 2t square minus 22t plus 36. Yes. So we know that it is given, if we have to find out displacement, we have to find out time where displacement is 0. So it means that 0 is equals to 0 is equals to minus t into 2t square minus 22t plus 36. So from here we can say minus t is equal to 0 and 2t square minus 22t plus 36 is equals to 0. So from here t is equal to 0, which is not required, and for the second one we can use the calculator. Mod 5 3, a is 2, b is minus 22 and c is 36. So this will be equals to 9 and 2. So from here we can write t is equals to 2 and at t is equals to 9 seconds. So this will be the final answer. This will be the final answer. Let's move to the next question. If you have any question, you can ask it in the comment section. Let's move to the next question. Question number 3. This one is question number 3. The diagram is given to us. Find the value p and theta, and this is, we know that here we will have horizontal component should be equals to 0. So sum of the system is in equilibrium. So summation of Rx should be equals to 0 here. So let's simplify it. So horizontal component for the first one 10 Newton force will be, as it is going right side, so we have to take it positive. So 10 cos of 25, then we will have the negative component for 2 newtons, so this will be minus 2 into cos of 40. Then we have this component, this should be negative, but here be very careful about the angle. This will be minus 16. This will be its perpendicular side, so sine theta is equals to 0. Now from here we can write it as, there is no horizontal component of p, so that is why we can write it as 16 sine theta is equals to 10 cos of 25 minus 2 cos of 40, and then we will have sine theta is equals to 10 cos of 25 minus 2 cos of 40 whole divided by 16, and then we have to take the inverse of this. So theta is equals to sine inverse of this whole thing. Now let's use the calculator. We will have 10 cos of 25 minus 2 cos of 40 divided by 16. So this will be 0.406. 0.406, and if we take the inverse of this, shift sine inverse of the answer, so it will be equals to 28.078. Theta is equals to 28.078. We have to correct it to the 1 decimal place. That is why theta will be equals to 28.1 degrees. So this will be the final answer for theta. Now let's find out the value of P. So value of P will be, we have to see that summation of Ry will be equals to 0. Vertical component, so vertical component will be P. P is the first one because it is going upward, so we have to take it positive. So P minus 10 sine of 25, this force. Then we have this component, this will be minus 2 sine of, because it's the perpendicular side, sine of 40. Then we will have minus this component, this will be 16 cos of theta is equals to 0. Now from here we can simplify it as P will be equals to 10 sine of 25 plus 2 sine of 40 plus 16 cos of 28.1. So we can use it as cos of the previous answer multiply by 16 plus 2 sine of 40 plus 10 sine of 25. So this will be equals to 19.628. So P will be equals to 19.6. This will be the answer for P, and theta is 28.1. So this will be the answer for the theta. Let's move to the next question. Question number 4. Now question number 4 is, mass of the car is 1400. The plane is inclined at a degree this. So basically we will have the diagram, the car is moving upward. So basically we will have the diagram like this, and the speed is constant, so it means that acceleration is 0. But here we will have, this will be the driving force, and this will be the weight, and this angle is basically sine alpha is 0.12. So we can write that this angle will be sine inverse of 0.12, and we will have the resistive force which will be 480 as it is going down, and we will definitely have R, and we will have the components of the weight. So we will have the components of the weight as well. Okay, now let's simplify the question. This one is the condition that first of all find the value of K. Now how we can find the value of K? It is given that R is equals to kV square. So we know that R is 480 and V is 24. So we can write it as K will be equals to R by V square, which means 480 by 24 square. So we can use calculator. So this will be 480 divided by 24 square. So this will be equals to 5 by 6. So we can say that K will be equals to 5 by 6. So this will be the final answer. Let's move to the second one, find the power. We have to find out the power. So for power we have to use this diagram. How we can use the diagram? We can say that we have to use F is equals to MA, forward forces minus backward forces. So from here, let's see the forward forces. This will be driving force minus resistive force minus weight, the component of the weight. Weight is W cos of, this should be W sine of alpha, W sine of alpha, and is equals to 0 because acceleration is 0, as it is there is a constant velocity, which means acceleration is 0. Now let's simplify it further. Let's put the values. So here the driving force is P by V plus resistive force is 480 minus weight was 1400 into 10 sine alpha is equals to, from here we can see that sine alpha is equals to 0.12, so into 0.12 is equals to 0. Now from here we can simplify it further, that P is equals to, P by V is equals to 480, not 480, this should be 1400 into 10 into 0.12 minus 480 divided by this. So P will be equal to, we know that velocity is 24. So we can use the calculator. This will be, let's see the calculation over here, that 1400 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 0.12 minus 480, so it will be equals to 1200. So which means that 1200 multiplied by 24 will give us total power. So power will be equals to, let me multiply it because V is 24, multiply by 24, it will give us, power will be equals to this thing. Let me check one thing again. Okay. There is again, we can see that this will be, this one is negative. So here both will be positive. So let's do the calculation again, that 1400 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 0.12 plus 480 plus 480, it will be equals to 2160. So 2160 multiplied by 24, 2160 multiplied by 24, it will give us the final answer. Multiply by 24, it will be 51840. So 51840 means 51840 watts. This will be the power. So let's move to the C part. C part is the road is now horizontal. For P is equals to 54 kilowatts, find V when the speed is constant. Now we know that if the road is horizontal, it means that we know that P is equals to FV, and here we will have P is equals to kV square multiplied by V, because force is resistive force only, and this will be equals to, and the power is given that 54,000 is equals to K is 5 by 6. In the first part we have done, we find the value of K 5 by 6 VQ, and if we simplify it further, so VQ will be equals to 6 multiplied by 54,000 divided by 5, and then V will be equals to cube root of this thing, 6 multiplied by 54,000 whole divided by 5. So if we use the calculator, the final answer will be 40.165, and if we correct to one decimal place, so this will be, velocity will be equals to 40.2 meters per second. So this will be the final answer. If you have any confusion, you can ask it in the comment section. Let's move to the next question. Question number 5. Find the greatest and least value of t. Now here we will have the the diagram is given to us, and we have to find the greatest and the least value. Now let's see the first portion, that is for the greatest value. This will be equals to greatest value. What will be the equation? This one, greatest value means what? Greatest value means that this one is the particle and this is the force tension T. Greatest value means that if we increase the force T, it will move upward. It will move up, it will disturb the equilibrium, and the particle will move in the upward direction, which means acceleration will be in the upward direction and frictional force will be in the direction, in the downward direction for this particular case. So we can say that from here we can use F is equals to ma. Now forward forces minus backward forces. Now from here we cannot ignore the weight component, vertical and parallel. Now forward forces will be the component of T. This will be T. Here this one is 35. So T cos of 35 minus frictional force minus W cos, not cos, W sine of, because this W sine of 28, because this one is the perpendicular component, sine of 28 will be equals to 0, because the particle is about to move, which means it is in the limiting equilibrium, and it means that the acceleration will be 0. That is why we can simplify it here. We can say, now we can use this one. Now for horizontal component, let's see the horizontal component here for the greatest one. So horizontal component, this one is R. So R minus W cos of 28 is equals to 0. So R is equals to, mass was 0.8 into 10 cos of 28. This one is R. So R is equals to 8 multiplied by cos of 28. Now we can directly put the values. So T will be equals to, T cos of 35 will be equals to mu R plus 8 sine of 28. Now from here we can easily find out the value of T. This will be, let's put the values here. So this will be equals to 0.2 into R. R is 8 cos of 28 plus 8 sine of 28 whole divided by cos of 35. Let's find the value of T. The value of T will be, now for this particular case, this will be equals to, let's use the calculator and simplify the values. This will be equals to 0.2 multiplied by 8 cos of 28 plus 8 sine of 28 whole divided by cos of 35. So this will be equals to 6.63. Let me check the calculations again. Okay. There is a slight change here, that we have skipped one of the component. So let me correct this one as well. So this should be plus T cos of 35 is equals to 0. So this will be here minus T cos of 35 minus T cos of 35. So from here let me change it again, this one. Now this will be equals to T cos of 35 is equals to, and the second thing is that here this should be minus minus mu, this one is correct, mu r plus this thing. Okay, now mu is 0.2 into 8 multiplied by cos of 28 minus t cos of 35 plus 8 sine of 28. Now if you simplify it further, so this will be 0.2 into 8, 0.2 into 8 into cos of 28. So this will be equals to 1.41 to 1.41. Okay, 1.41 minus 0.2 t cos of 35 plus 8 sine of 28. Now if we rearrange it, so this will be t plus 0.2 t cos of 35, sorry, this should be t cos of 35. T cos of 35 is equals to, now this will be, we have to add 1.41 plus 8 sine of 28. So this will be equals to 5.16, and from here if we add it, so this will be 1.2 t is equals to 5.16 by cos of 35. So divided by cos of 35, so divided by cos of 35, this will be equal to 6.31. Let me write it here. 1.2 t is equals to 6.31. So t will be equals to 6.31 divided by 1.2. So divided by 1.2, divide, okay, answer divided by 1.2, 5.25. So which means 5.26 will be the final answer. T is equal to 5.26 newtons for the greatest value. Let's see the second condition for the least value. So for least, we know that if it is the least one, so it means that if we decrease the value of t further, it will be moving downward, hence the frictional force will be in the upward direction. Now for this case, let's see the values that for vertical components, let's say upward forces minus backward forces. So this one is R, and the weight component, we will have three forces here. So this will be R minus W, this one is base, so W cos of 28 plus T sine of 35 is equal to 0, which means that the value of R will remain same. This will be W cos of 28 minus T sine of 35. Let me reconfirm it, that this will be W cos of 28 minus T sine of 35. Okay, this will be the same. Now let's see the other one, the effect of the other one. This will be, now this one is the forward forces. Now let's see the values, and keep this thing in mind that acceleration is 0 because this is the constant velocity. So this will be W sine of 35. Then we have, then this one is the forward force, and the other force will be minus frictional force, the component of the frictional force. Okay, and the other one will be the component of T. So as we know that this horizontal component will be positive, so this will be plus T cos of 35, not positive here, we will take the negative, because we are taking these forces as the positive one and the other one will be the negative one. The upwards forces will be the negative one for this particular case. So is equal to 0. Forward force minus backward forces. Okay, now from here we can write it as, we know that mass is 0.2, 0.8. So 0.8 into 10 into sine of 35 minus mu is 0.2 and R is 0.8 into 10 cos of 28, and then we will have minus t sine of 35, then we will have minus t cos of 35 is equals to 0. Now if we multiply 0.2 with 8, so 0.2 multiplied by 8, it will give us 1.6. Okay, now here this will be 8 sine of 35 minus 1.6 cos of 28 plus 0.2 t sine of 35 minus t cos of 35 is equals to 0. Now if we simplify it further, so this will be 8 sine of 35 minus 1.6 cos of 28. This will be equal to 3.18 plus 0.2 t. Let me shift it to the other side so that we will have the positive values for this. So this will be t cos of 35 minus 0.2 t cos of 35, which means that 3.18 is equals to 1.2 t cos of 35. So t will be equals to 3.18 divided by 1.2 into cos of 35. So let me solve it here. Divided by 1.2, then again divided by cos of 35. So the final answer will be 3.23. So for the least one, t will be equals to 3.23. This will be the final answer. I hope that the method is clear to all of you, and if you have any question, you can ask it in the comment section. Let's move to the question number 6. A is projected at x meters per second, so it means that we have the particle A and it is projected towards B. Okay, and we have the other particle C, and here is the question that it is going towards the right side. So this one is 6 meters per second and its mass is 1 kg. It's the mass of the last particle is 2 kg. It is given in the question, and the mass of the first one is 5 kg. Okay, A is projected at 6 meters per second towards the B. So we know and A correlates with B to form D and C equals. Okay, it's a very simple question. So what we have to do, we have to follow the basics, and the basic thing is that we have to use the law of conservation of momentum as usual. So this will be MAVA plus MBVB. Okay, Now just put the values and let's see what will happen. That MA is 6 into 6, the mass is 5, so that is why mass is 5. So 5 into 6 plus the mass, next one is 1 into 0 because it is not moving. Okay, after the collision the mass remains the same and VA will become V because it coalesces. So V plus MB is 1 into V. Here we can say that VA is equals to VB, which means because it coalesces. Okay, now we can simplify it as 5 6 it's 30 plus 0 is equals to 6V. So if we simplify it further, so V will be equals to 30 divided by 6 and here V will be equals to 5 meters per second. Now this says that after the collision A coalesces with B to form D. It means that this will be the initial velocity of the particle D after the collision. Now let's see, now the situation here is that now we have two particles. The first one is D and the second one is C, and they are moving towards each other. This one is now moving with 5 meters per second and this one is now moving with the velocity V, and we know the masses and all the things. This one is 2 kg and this one is now, we know that it will be now, the mass will be now 6. Okay, now again we have to use the law of conservation of momentum, that md ud plus mc uc is equals to md vd plus mc vc. Okay, now this will be equals to, we know that the mass now will become of D will be 6 because it coalesces, so the mass will be 6 now. 6 into 5 plus this will be, as it is going towards the left side, so this should be this will be plus the mass is 2 and it will be V because it is going towards the left side, and after the collision the mass will remain same, that it will be 6 and this will be now VE. Why? Because after the collision of DC it will become they will form E. After C and D they coalesce again and it will become E. So that is why this will be VE. So MC is 2 here, 2 VE. Now if we simplify it further, so this will be 30 minus 2V is equals to 6 plus 2E. 6 plus 2E means 8 this, and from here we can write it as VE is equals to we can take 2 as common, so 15 minus V whole divided by 8, so VE is equals to 15 minus V divided by 4 because we can simplify it here. So that is what we have to prove in the first part. Let's move to the second one. Let's move to the part B. Now in the part B, given that the total loss of kinetic energy after both collision is 63 joules, show that V is equals to 3. Now what we have to do is we need to see that kinetic energy, the kinetic energy lost, the first lost kinetic energy after the collision. First means that after the first collision, let me write the collision also, that after the first collision the kinetic energy loss will be 1 by 2, the mass was 5 into 6 mb square minus 1 by 2 into 2 into v square half mb square. So from here we will have 2 ones are 2, this will be now 36. So kinetic energy loss of first This will be equals to 1 by 2 into 5 into 36 minus, we can cancel out the 2, so this will be, okay, we have missed the third one, that this will be, we have the another component also, so that is why we have to see all the kinetic energy of all these three. So 1 by 2 into 5 into 6 square plus, okay, let me rephrase it, this will be minus 1 by 2 into the second particle 5 square, this was the loss, final minus initial, plus 1 by 2 of 2 into v square. So if you simplify it, so 1 by 2 into 5 into 36 minus 3 into 25 plus v square. So now we can say that 2 ones are 2 18s are, so 5 into 18, 5 multiply by 18 minus 3 multiply by 25, so it will give us 15. So we can say that first kinetic energy will be equals to 15 plus v square. Let's see the second one, that kinetic energy after the second collision. After the second collision, what will be the loss of kinetic energy? This will be 1 by 2 into 6 into half mv square minus 1 by 2 into the coil is, so 8 into v was, what was the v? So we know that after second collision this was the v, so ve, because the coil is, so 15 minus v divided by 4 whole square. So this will be 1 by 2, let me simplify it here so that the calculation must be simple. We will have 3 into 25 minus 4 into a square, okay, let me calculate 15 square, 15 square 225, let me use directly 225, 220 a square minus 2ab, so 30b plus b square whole divided by 4 square, because it's 4, so it means that this will be 16. Now we can calculate, so this will be 75 minus 225, okay, let me use 225 by 16 minus, this will be plus, so 120v by 16 plus, okay, we have simplified it, so that is why, let me write 4 here also, okay, 4 into 225 by 16, 4 into 30 by 16 plus, now here this will be minus 4v square by 16, so we can simplify here that 4 and with 4 this will be 30 and 4, now this we can simply 4 3 30 the, and this will be, okay, let's say that it's 4 1 and 4. Now if we take the LCM, so 75 into 4, 75 into 4, so this will be 300, so 300 minus 225 plus 130v minus v square whole divided by 4, and from here we can easily find out the value of, okay, this one is basically, we can easily simplify it So 300 minus 225 is 75. So we can use it as 75 plus 130v minus v square whole divided by 4. And if we add it, because we know that total kinetic loss is equals to first kinetic energy loss first plus loss of kinetic second loss of kinetic energy. This one is 1663 is equals to 15 plus v square plus 75 plus 130v minus v square whole divided by 4. So we from here we will have the equation 3v square plus 30v minus 117 is equals to 0, and we can use the calculator to find the values. So mod 5 3, so 3, then we have 30, then we have minus 117, so this will be equals to 3 and minus 13. So v is equals to 3 and v is equals to minus 13, but from here we will get the final answer will be 3 meters per second only, because we have to keep the direction in our mind. Okay, let's move to the D part. Now D part is that find the time taken from A is projected towards B till E reaches Z. Okay, till E reaches Z. Basically Z is in the question it was given that we have 3 points x, y and z, x, y and z. It was given in the question A, B and C. A, B and C. Now we have to find out the time when the last one particle reaches to Z. Okay, it means that it should reach to the particle Z. So we have to see the last condition, that when D reaches to the point C, after they coalesce and they should reach to the point Z. This is the question. We have to find out the time. So time taken for the first collision. So let me write T for time for the first collision. So we have to see the time for the first collision and then time for the second collision. So time for the first collision will be it was 36 by 6. 36 by 6. Why 36 by 6? Because it was given that it is V is this and the distance is so if we simplify it, so this will be equals to, so from here we can see that this will be equals to 6 seconds for the first collision, and then distance covered by C. So distance covered by C, we know that this will be distance covered by C. Okay, let me check it here, that the distance covered by C will be in 6 seconds. In 6 seconds will be equals to 6 multiplied by 3, because 6 is time and C was the velocity. So as we know that V is equals to d by t, so d will be equals to V into t. So 18 meters will be the distance. So we know that this one is particle D and this one is particle C, and we know that the distance covered by both these will be equals to 80. Why 80? Because we can find it here that the total distance is, in the previous part it was given that, let's say we have these 3 points x, y and z. Total distance is 98, and this one x to y is 30, given that xy is 36 and y to z is 98. Y to z is 98. So that is why we can say that the distance covered by SD plus SC will be equals to 80, and we know that this one is 5 into t, because we are not sure about the time, we are clear about the velocity. So, and 3t, its velocity is t3, so 80, and time will be equals to 80 by 8, which means time will be equals to 10 seconds. This will be the final answer. Let's move to the next question. This was the C part, and we have to find the difference of time between two collisions. The difference of time between two collisions, this will be 10 seconds. Okay, let's see the D part. In the D part, we have to time taken from A is projected towards B till E reaches Z. So E reaches Z. So let me write it over here. This will be the D part. And in the D part, the remaining distance after the collision, so remaining distance after the collision will be 98 minus 50, and it means that 48 meters will be the remaining distance. So total time will be equals to 6 plus, previously it was 10, so 6 plus 10 plus 48 by VE, yes, VE, and we know the value VE. So let's find out the value VE. VE was, initially it was 15 minus V divided by 4, so 15 minus 3 divided by 4, which means 12 by 4, which means 3. So time total is equals to 6 plus 10 plus 48 by 3, and if we simplify it, this will be 6 plus 10 plus 3 ones are 3, 3 ones are 3, and 3 6 are 16. So 32 seconds will be the final answer. Let's move to the next one, the last question, question number 7. This one is question number 7, and this is the data it was given to us. Now what we have to find out, the system is released and particle P goes downward, find the acceleration of P. Now we know that if the particle is going downward, if particle P is going downward, it means acceleration in this direction and the frictional force will be in this direction. And we know that this one will be R, and definitely we cannot ignore the components of weight. This will be the perpendicular, this will be the parallel component. Now let's see it one by one. This one is particle Q, and the tension is going upward, the weight is going downward. So we can simplify it as this will be T minus W, the forward forces minus backward forces. So T minus W will be mg. Mg means 0.5 into 10 is equals to 0.5 A. So we can say that T will be equals to 0.5 A plus 5. So this will be equation 1. Okay, now let's see the particle P. So for particle P, what we have to do, we have to see all the forces. So we know that tension is again going upward, so we cannot ignore. So forward forces minus backward forces. So forward force will be W sine of 30, and then minus friction force minus T is equals to MA. Now W of particle P. Particle P is 2.5. Okay, mass is 2.5. So we can write it as 2.5 multiplied by 10 multiplied by sine of 30 minus 0.2 into R minus T. T is 0.5A plus 5 is equals to 2.5A. Now what about R? How we can simplify the R? Now R will be equals to, from here we can see, let's see the value of R. So R will be equals to, we have to see the vertical components of P. So for vertical components of P will be R minus this component. This will be W cos of the angle was, let's see this angle, this was 30. So cos of 30 is equals to 0 because acceleration is 0 in vertical side. So R is equals to 2.5 into 10 cos of 30. So R will be equals to, let's simplify it here, that 2.5 into 10 into cos of 30. So this will be equal to 25 square root of 3 by 2. 25 square root of 3 by 2. So we can just put it over here. So this will be 2.5 into 10 sine of 30 minus 0.2 into 25 into square root of 3 by 2 plus 5 is equals to 2.5A plus 0.2, not 0.2, 0.5A. This will be 0.5A. I have shifted this term to the other side, this term to this side. So now we can simplify it and we can easily find out the value of A. So if we multiply it with 0.2, it will give us 5, and then plus 5, it will give us this thing, and then we have to add. Okay, there is a slight change that we need to simplify it again. So 2.5 into 10 into sine of 30 minus 0.2 into fraction 25 square root of 3 divided by 2, bracket close, plus 5. So this will be 35 minus, let me write 13.17. So 13.17 is equals to 3A. So A will be equals to, we have to divide it by 3. If we divide it by 3, it will be equals to 13.3 divided, okay, let me check it again, what will be the value. Let me recheck the calculations. That 2.5 multiplied by 10 multiplied by sine of 30, okay, minus 0.2 multiplied by 20 25 square root of 3 divided by 2. So this will be this one. Then plus 5, this will be 13.16 divided by 3. So the answer will be 4.39. Okay, let me see. 4.39, yes, 4.39 meters per second square. So this will be the final answer. Let's move to the next question. The last one, the last part. It's okay. Let's see here. Find velocity of P using energy method when both particles have the same height. Okay, they are saying that when the both particles have the same height. Let me write the P part here. Both have the same height. What we have to find? We have to find the velocity when both have the same height. We need to find V. This is the question. Now we know that Q moves x meter upward and P moves. Okay, we have seen here that, let me draw the diagram, a rough diagram, that this one is particle P, this one is particle Q, and this one is particle P. So P is going x meters upward and Q is going up x meters upward, and P moves x sine of 30 meters down the slope. So from here we can draw a rough estimate here that the height will be, this one is h and this one is x distance and this one is 30. So from here we can say, we can use sine 30 will be equals to perpendicular by base, perpendicular by hypotenuse. So height will be equals to x sine of 30. Now the total distance, that this will be, the total distance will be, it was given that find velocity of P when both have the same height, and it was given in the question that this height is 2. Okay, this height is 2. It was given in the question, so we can write it as x plus x was the distance covered by the particle P, x sine of 30 was the distance covered by particle P. So this will be, let me simplify it, that sine 130 will be sine 30 will be equals to 1 by 2. So we can say 1 by 2 plus 1. So plus 1, it will be 3 by 2. So 3 by 2, x is equals to 2, which means x is equals to 4 by 3 meters. Now we know the value, we know the distance also. So what we have to do, we have to use the energy method. So energy method is initial potential energy. The energy method, initial potential energy of P is equals to final potential energy of P plus kinetic energy plus work done by the resistive force. So we can simplify it as, we know that initial 2.5 mv square. So mgh, mg, and h was x into x was 4 by 3 sine of 30 is equals to, initially it was mg 0.5 into 10 into x. Okay, it was the initial one, minus plus 1/2 mv square. Mv square means 0.5 plus 2.5, because we have to see the collective values, plus the last one, work done. So resistive force, so it was, let's see the previous values. The R was 25 square root of 3 by 2. So 25 square root of 3 by 2 into the height, it was 4 by 3. Now if we simplify it, so this will be equals to, v is only in this equation, so let's simplify it on calculator directly. So we will have 2.5 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 4 multiplied by sine of 30 whole divided by 3. Okay, 50 by 3. Now we have to subtract these two expressions. We have to subtract this one as well as this one. Okay, now because we are shifting towards the left side, so I am just using the calculator directly. Minus 0.5 into 10 into 4 by 3, 4 by 3, bracket close, 10, minus, again we have to use 25 square root of 3 divided by 2 multiply by fraction 4 by 3, bracket close. So this was another 30 minus 50 square root of 3 by 2. So 30 minus 50 square root of 3 whole divided by 3. So equals to 1 by 2 into 3v square. So we can multiply it with 2, multiply it with 2, and then divide it by, okay, what was the previous value? Okay, we have to do the whole calculation again. So basically previously this was 50 by 3 minus 50 by 3 is equals to, let me use it one by one. Let me use the calculations one by one. So actually we have to do the calculations only from here onwards, and we will get the value v. So this will be 2.5, basically 2.5 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 4 by 3 multiplied by sine of 30. It will give us 50 by 3. So 50 by 3 is equals to 0.5 into 10 means, so this will be 5 into 4, 20 by 3, plus this will be 1 by 2 into 3v square, plus this will be, we can simplify it here, 2 1s are 2 2s are, so 25 square root of 3, 25 square root of 3 divided by, okay, multiply by 2 divided by 3. So it will give us 50 square root of 3 by 3. So 50 square root of 3 by 3. So if we have to add it with plus fraction 20 by 3, 20 by 3. This was the answer. And then 50 divided by 3, 50 divided by 3 minus previous answer, it will be equals to minus 18.86. Minus 18.86, and if we simplify it further, so we will get, finally we will have V is equals to 1.68 meters per second. That is it for today. That is it from for this paper. It was for May June 2024, paper 4-2. If you have any question, you can ask it in the comment section. Thank you.